Hi, welcome to Amber's Garden Corner. My name's Amber, and today we're gonna have an update on the Great Tomato Experiment. Okay, we have the one that is planted deep, and she's rapidly developing lots of fruit. There are a bunch of fruit all in there, and as you can see, these flowers that popped out last week are developing fruit. Planted on its side, we have a bunch of developing fruit. Okay, for the one that we planted level, we have a bunch of fruit developing on her, and buds, flowers everywhere, and the flowers are starting to develop. We've kind of had a little bit of a heat wave here. We have some patty pan developing. So I hope you like that update for the tomato experiment and the different plantings. And again, that is planting deep. Planting deep. And planting on its side. And I'm planting level. So, typically speaking, I have always planted deep. I have done all of the methods, of course, before, but you know, when you don't do them side by side, sometimes you disremember exactly how it might be. And I had these extras and I thought, well, let's try that. So, I like how the one planted on the side is growing. So far, the one planted deep seems to be developing the most fruit the quickest. The one planted level is, you know, comparative to the others, is just as thick-stalked and good growth. In fact, the growth might have been just a little bit faster only because it was already taller when it went instead of going under. The root growth seems to be good on, well, I don't know about the root growth, but the vegetative growth seems like it's going very well. So far, the one that is planted deep, you can see it's got much more fruit developing on it. Not to say that there isn't fruit on the other ones, and just as many blooms, so I guess we'll see how they end up turning out in the long run. I think planting them deep and on the side, if you've got a whole lot of wind or issues of that nature, overall gives you a much sturdier plant. Although, as I said, the one that was planted level is, you know, just as thick-stalked as the other ones. Although I would say that the one that is planted on the side is probably the thickest stalked. And I did break off a very heavy stalk on that one accidentally, which I had actually transplanted since it was such a good stalk and it's growing. So I don't really have a definitive answer other than from habit. I have done deep. Usually from lack of opportunity, you know, because I have to set it on the side and it has to grow up a bit and stretch out so that you can actually plant it on the side, which can be a little inconvenience. So for convenience, I find planting it deep great. I think if I was in a little more sheltered area, and especially maybe you know, like my area has got a shorter growing span, it might be helpful with that because it doesn't have to focus that much and it's growing up. We'll see how they end up producing. So, let me add a little bit extra to this video. I have been harvesting kelp all week. Okay, so we have our kelp here, which was harvested from the water, and it was sustainably harvested 2 feet from the bulb of the whip, so that I just got the fronds so that they could grow and the rest of the plant can continue to grow. Now it has been rinsed off in seawater and then rinsed off in regular water, fresh water, and it's all clean now, and I have filled up the water with just level to what the seaweed is. Also, another thing is if you take this and you layer it on your garden on the top as a top mulch, it'll also help discourage slugs and snails. As the seaweed dries out, it releases some of the salt that is in there, which will easily wash out with the rain. So you don't need to worry about that. And it'll form a crisp layer as it dries with a little salt, and it'll just discourage the slug. Off and placed in some water, and I have a cover on it, and it will wrap for a couple weeks, and then I will use that to mix with a little water, and I can use that as a foliar spray and pour on the base of the roots. Now, seaweed, I'm sure you've gone to the store and gone like this. You know, this is readily available for me, and I can get it for free, so that's awesome. And I will let this rot, and there are like 26 or 28 micronutrients that are readily available with this plant. Now, this is kelp, and it's one of the quickest growing plants on the planet, I believe. But it has a plant hormone naturally in the plant that helps it grow so fast. So that hormone will also go into your plants, help it with vigorous growth, and it's a great organic supplement. Well, I hope you liked this video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, leave a comment. We'd love to hear from you. Have a good day.